Hello, everybody. This is Ron talking to you from the Erasmus Academy Studios in Brooklyn, New York, and we're focusing on the second segment of this text from Hermann Hesse, and it starts right here, Han Fuch war damals, and it goes down to um, down to 24, right down here. So it's a good little passage. But our procedure, as you know by now, is that I'm going to be reading the sentences out loud, and then CJ will be repeating them after me. And please read out loud the sentences together with him, so that you get the sound of the flow and the sense of the words, and get an active feeling for the sentences and language. And then also, I'll ask him individual questions, grammatical questions to unpack the structure of the sentences. And thereby, we work step by step in developing an understanding together, and you participate to the extent possible in that way. Okay, so here we go. Starting with Han Fuch on the mark that can you see the mark here, CJ? On the
I
screen?
can.
Okay, great. So it starts right here. So here we go. Han Fuch war damals etwa 20 Jahre alt und ein hübscher Jüngling. Everybody?
Han Fuch war damals etwa 20 Jahre alt und ein hübscher Jüngling.
Bescheiden und von angenehmen Umgangsformen.
Bescheiden und von angenehmen Umgangsformen.
Okay, let's stop right there, right to that point. So where's the first verb?
War,
And that means?
was, he was.
He was. Good. So he was at that time, adverb, and very straightforward. Etwa means approximately 20 years old. And then here, ein hübscher, here's your adjective ending here. If this were der, if it were the young person, Jungling, it would be ein hübscher, der hübsche. But without the R of the definite article, the R likes to be tacked upon, or needs to be tacked upon, the adjective right here. So that's just information about the principle of endings of the adjectives. Okay, let's see. So why don't you just translate it right down to here?
Okay.
Mhm.
Han Fuch was at that time some 20 years old and a charming young man.
Okay, and then talks about these different things. So he was bescheiden, and then just looking at the structure overall of the sentence, and he was unterrichtet. So these are all predicate adjectives, sometimes past participles serving as predicate adjectives. He was modest. He was instructed, and he was known. So that's the looking at overall structure of the sentence. Okay, let's see. So agreeable Umgangsformen, it really means manners. You could say it means manners, but it really means the forms of how he goes around, or the ways in which he interacts with other people. Okay, let's see. Why don't you translate all the way down to here? See if you,
Okay. Can I pick up from the und or the bescheiden?
uh,
Or do you want
we'll just pick up from the beginning again. Go down
to?
there.
Okay. Han Fuch was at that time some 20 years old and a charming young man, modest and of agreeable forms of going around, instructed in the sciences.
Good, up to there, and then this means known. And what case does trotz take?
That it would be genitive.
Yeah, genitive. So trotz seiner Jugend, despite his youth. And durch often is a sense of by which something is done. And this and then unter den Literaten means among the writers of his homeland. So and what was he known for? Through how would you translate this? This little phrase here, through.
Through several excellent poems.
Exactly, yeah. So why don't you start with und and go down to bekannt?
And despite his youth, he was known already through several excellent poems among the literary or the writers of his homeland.
You could say the literary figures, maybe.
The literati.
The literati, yeah. So, and I like the way that you picked up this a little bit later. And despite his youth, known already through some excellent poems. Okay, good. But he's just known among the writers of his homeland. Notice this little emphasized here. He's not known beyond that. You would be implied. Okay, let's go on. Reading. Ohne gerade reich zu sein, everybody,
Ohne gerade reich zu sein,
hatte er doch ein auskömmliches Vermögen
hatte er doch
sorry,
ein Aus
I broke that up. Let me do it again. Ohne gerade reich zu sein, hatte er doch ein auskömmliches Vermögen zu erwarten,
hatte er doch ein auskömmliches Vermögen zu erwarten,
das durch die Mitgift seiner Braut noch erhöht würde.
das durch die Mitgift seiner Braut noch erhöht würde.
Yeah, good. Sometimes when I don't include other phrases, I try to go back and read it again. Okay, so what does the phrase ohne zu sein mean?
Without being,
Good, without being, good. And then this is
very philosophical.
yeah, without being especially wealthy. And then what goes with hatte?
Er, or you mean it completes the rest of the
verb complex,
complex
yeah.
erhöht würde.
Well, let's see. Before that, hatte,
zu erwarten.
Yeah, hatte zu erwarten. So he had to expect, or he was able to expect. And was the direct object?
Ein auskömmliches Vermögen.
Yeah, and when direct object, we'll just look at the noun only there. But now, how do you know what gender Vermögen is?
From, I mean, if you don't know it, from the es tacked on to auskömmliches.
Good. So this is an indirect object. So he had to expect, or he was to expect, however, so this is the direct object. Good. Now, what does das in the next phrase refer back to?
The Vermögen.
Good. So the antecedent is Vermögen, and it agrees with its antecedent in gender and number, and then the form of the das is in the dependent clause that follows, depending upon its role there, and it's actually serving as a subject here, which was raised still through the dowry of his bride. Okay, let's see. So go up, start from your ohne gerade down to here.
Okay. Without being exactly rich, he still had an adequate financial means to expect.
Good. So he had doch, als adversive, nonetheless, or yet, an adequate. Good. Which, and then finish that from das wurde, which
was raised by through the dowry of his bride.
Good.
Which is still raised, or yet further, or something.
Yeah. Noch has a sense of here what was further raised, which was further raised from what he initially had. So everything is sort of imminent, impending. The sense of what Hesse is doing here in this paragraph. Okay, and going on from here, let's read. Und da diese Braut außerdem sehr schön und tugendhaft war. Go ahead.
Und da diese Braut außerdem sehr schön und tugendhaft war,
schien an dem Glücke des Jünglings durchaus nichts mehr zu fehlen.
Schien an dem Glücke des Jünglings durchaus nichts mehr zu fehlen.
Okay, what about this da? Is it an adverb or a subordinating conjunction?
Subordinating.
Because, again,
the var at the end of this clause.
Var comes at the end. If it were just an adverb, then the verb would be immediately after this da. Okay, so that means it's causal, since it was, and it was the subject of that clause?
Diese Braut?
Yeah, so this
or
bride.
Just Braut.
This bride. Also, that means over and above that, or in addition to that. And tugendhaft means?
Virtuous?
Yeah, indicated here right in the right-hand side. So whenever we see a circle there, that means it's translated to the right. Okay, and then how about the next phrase? Well, just do this half phrase here, please, CJ, from Unda and since.
Okay. And since this bride was over and above that, very beautiful and virtuous.
Hmm. And the verb of the net verb complex in the next up to the end of the sentence.
Schien zu fehlen.
Good. And this one's from scheinen. Can you give me the three principal parts of scheinen?
Scheinen, schien, geschienen.
Good. Nicely done. So the vowel pattern is ei, ie, ie. Scheinen, schien, geschienen. Good. And then how's that completed, the verb complex there, up to the period?
Oh, zu fehlen?
Yeah, yeah. It seemed, as past tense, it seemed to be lacking. Failing is to be lacking. Why is this S here on Jungling?
It's possessive.
Yeah, it's affected by the possessive case, and all nouns, nominative and I'm sorry, all masculine and neuter nouns have added an S or an ES. And is nicht is the negation, or is it means nothing?
Nothing like
Yeah,
the
anything with
noun or
it.
something.
Yeah,
It's not really a noun.
yeah. It does mean nothing, although it's never capitalized, oddly. So we think of nothing as a noun, but it's that's the way it appears. Okay.
It kind of makes sense
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
in a weird way that only Germans would do for some reason.
Yeah. Okay. So finish that sentence.
So it appeared, we add an S, we agreed. It appeared that nothing, it appeared that there was nothing more to be missing, like in the luck of the young man, like throughout, all in all, or something.
Yeah, entirely. So
Entirely.
Durchaus zu viel. So nothing at all seemed to be missing still with the fortune of the young man. Okay, dennoch, let's read this together. Dennoch war nicht ganz zufrieden. Oh dear. Go ahead.
Dennoch war nicht ganz zufrieden.
Denn sein Herz war von dem Ehrgeiz erfüllt.
Denn sein Herz war von dem Ehrgeiz erfüllt.
Ein vollkommener Dichter zu werden.
Ein vollkommener Dichter zu werden.
Verb in the first phrase there.
War.
And zufrieden is just a predicate adjective. He was content there. And then den is always translated with for, giving the reason for something. And where's the verb complex there?
War.
And what goes with that?
Erfüllt.
He was filled, etc. And then to become, zu werden. So let's see. You want to just do this whole thing from ohne gerade? Do you mind doing that?
Sure. Okay.
There, just to pick up the context and everything.
Sure. So without exactly being rich, he had yet an adequate means of financial means to expect, which was still raised through the dowry of his bride. And since this bride was over and above that, or very beautiful and virtuous, it appeared that there was nothing more, all in all, entirely. Then there was entirely nothing more to be missing from in the luck, or from the luck of the young man.
Good, great. And then finish that. Dennoch, however.
However, he was not entirely content, for his heart was filled by the
eagerness, you could say.
Eagerness, yeah, eagerness to become a perfected or complete poet.
Great, very nicely done. So that's the end of that, and we took 14 minutes. We were supposed to finish it in 9 or 10 minutes, so we'll hope to do better. Anyway, thanks so much for listening with us and translating together. So hope to come back to the next session, which we'll have on the next day. Thanks so much, and take care. Bye-bye.